Here's the thing, dudes and gals. I discovered probably maybe 2 years ago now that in one respect I am the 1% of the human populace. Now, this is really curious in many ways, because being included in the 1% in this particular way, I think has opened doors up to being in a smaller percent in other realms. I.e., what I'd like you guys to do, if you may, if I can encourage you just a little bit, you know, some of you people that don't comment or don't comment very much, or, you know, when you've watched my videos, I would like to know what it is that you perceive about the Awakened Brave. How do you think his mind works? What qualities of mind do you think I possess? And lots of people obviously have said things in the past, and lots of my viewers have found it very difficult to be in unison with my train of thought. And this probably has been one of the main bones of contentions that I've had over the years, when I've been going, do you not get it? It's... Are you all dumb fucks or what? I mean, come on, guys. All I'm saying is this and this and this and this. But you're not saying anything. You know, are you retards? Can't you just put something down? But it appears that how I see the world really is very different. And of course it's different in the respect that I am an awakened being. Probably an enlightened being. Oh, don't start, don't start. I've seen things more than most. I've experienced things more than most. And when anybody has spoken about what it is to be enlightened, I've done all that and I've been there. In actual fact, I've done it like scores of times over. And so, you know, give me another concept that I can head towards, because I've done all that stuff. The awakening thing, the enlightening thing, the all one thing, the God thing. Yeah, I've done it all. What else is there? What else can I head towards? And so, whilst I was speaking and inquiring into people's minds, because I always want to know, what do you think? No, don't recite this and recite that. I want to know what you think about a certain something. What's your experience? Do you actually have any personal experience on these things? And this is, you know, in line with the video I made yesterday. People just parrot fashioning all this nonsense about science when 99.9999999% of the world's populace haven't got a clue what they are supposed to believe in about all these scientific terms. I'm like, excuse me, I'm not buying your squiggly shit and your equations and that. What does that mean to me as a human being? You're telling me this and you're telling me that. What are you trying to do? You're just trying to program my mind. I'm sorry, I've got no proof or evidence of that, and so I'm not going to be running towards your camp and bowing down and worshipping what you say because somebody says it's good. No. I'm going to see the world and interpret the world with the skills and abilities that I've got. And there is going to be the cornerstone and foundation of my knowledge, experience, not belief. What's belief? Belief is just like, it's a form of fantasy. You want to fantasize about something being true. You want to fantasize about God being true. You see, look, in all these years I've been on the quest to find God. And now I've found what I consider to be God, and what many other people would consider to be God also. I've found it through my hard work, my labour, my tenacity, and all the rest of these positive human attributes. When we decide that we want to discover something, then we don't stop until we have. And so I've been questioning, reading, listening, all this stuff for this past 12 years, and that's what my book's about. And now my book is going to go, there you go, that's why I'm saying and thinking and telling you that I know a certain something. So when I'm speaking to other people and I'm saying, well, what do you know, please, oh my God, can anybody just say what their experience is? For God's sake, is it so difficult? Do you actually have any experience? This is my frustration. Do you actually have any experience? Or are you just a complete automaton? That's the thing, you see. When you're awoken, when you're enlightened, when you have a mind of a very special variety, you look around at the mediocrity and it's kind of like you all think you know things. You don't actually know anything. Knowing is experience. Have you experienced travelling on a rocket at the speed of light? No, you've not. And so why do you believe somebody when they tell you X, Y and Z? And then when they tell you X, Y and Z about anything, oh yeah, well yeah, no, I'm not buying it. If someone tells me about electromagnetism, they don't know what it is, by the way. They haven't got a clue what it is, but they know how to harness it a bit. If someone tells me about the rudimentaries of a combustion engine, I'll go, let me have a look. Okay, and I'll work it through in my own logical mind, and then I'll go, okay, that looks all very well in theory, show me one in practice now. And they go, well, there you go, there's a car over there. If you look under the bonnet, you can see all this stuff. And I go, okay, I can hear it, I can feel it, you know, I can feel the kinetics of it, it's getting hot and it's doing all this combustion stuff. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm not believing that, I'm accepting it as knowledge, as a reality in this non-reality. That's how my mind works. I'm not having blind faith about anything. But the curious thing in my life, I was presented with angels. I was presented with the voice of God. I was presented with, you know, the voice of Jesus and the feeling of unconditional love. I was presented with what it feels like to be in hell. I've been presented with all these things, and I'm like, well, I need to know what the root of all these things are. And so that's what my drive has been. But even before I had those, because most of that stuff is in recent years, what happened was I had a shock. My shooting event, where I potentially could have lost my life, was a very traumatic event, and it flipped a switch in my mind into another region of consciousness. And this is the whole thing about waking up. If you haven't had that, you will never wake up to the degree that some people, or all those who have had that. You need a complete flip of the switch to send you into a different paradigm of consciousness, to awake you from this silly fiction that we all consider as real. So when I'm speaking with people and I'm saying, what do you think about this, what do you think about that, and then they just fall into the stereotypical about what they've read or what other people say, and it's so immensely frustrating. I'm like, please, dear God, does anybody have any personal experience? Yeah, well, we're not all like you, Aaron. We've not all travelled 45 countries around the world. We've not all been to many of these countries multiple times. We've not had all these experiences of you doing what you've done. You've done a lot of stuff, man. You've had a lot of experience. Yeah, granted, I've had a lot of experience, and so therefore I've got a lot of knowledge. So when I say to people, because when reading things like Platonic ideas, Plato would speak about everything's an idea, and this is the premise of the philosophy idealism, which I am a great adherent to. Everything is just an idea. There is no physical world here at all. The cosmos isn't a physical thing. It's a vibratory energy, a conscious mass, and even the vibration thing I'm seriously questioning, because that pertains to the whole human mind of quantum physics, which my experience is there's nothing. And I've experienced the nothing. I'm not talking about because I've got an idea and I've listened to somebody's video. In the deepest of meditation, I've been to the nothingness. The absolute, complete, unadulterated nothing. No me, no human, no life, no living, just awareness. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what lots of quantum physicists say is the fundamental premise of the universe. And then out of its thinking, out of its consciousness, then derives the fiction of matter. And so I've been inside the mind of God. I am the mind of God, and I can tell you exactly how it feels. And I've laboured this in many, many videos. And so then, when I'm trying to extract this sort of experience out of other people and it's not forthcoming, I'm like, oh, am I the only one on the whole world? I'm not the only one. There was quite a lot of others, but they're very, very difficult to find. You see, what you have to do is you have to find someone who is equally articulate, who is equally expressive, to be able to take you to where I take people. Like now, you know, when you're watching me, how many people do you see with this level of energy, knowing, passion? You know, the actual essence of being. Amidst all of this fiction, there's something that is actually being. And so I'm speaking from that. I'm not speaking from this thing. I'm speaking from that. And so when I say to people, so when you close your eyes, what idea do you see? Because Plato was speaking about all these ideas. Everything's an idea. And he would say something like, look, if you picture an idea of a chair, what do you see? And the vast majority of people, 99%, will tell you that they see a particular chair. And I'm like, are you just imagining that you're seeing this, or are you actually seeing it? And they go, no, I'm actually seeing it. The chair is wooden, it's got slats in it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's got 7 slats in it, it's tall, it's pine, the back is a little bit curved, and then the base has got a little bit of a linen cover on it, and I'm like, you actually are seeing a chair in your mind. Have you seen that chair before? Sometimes they'll say yes, and sometimes they'll go, no, I've not seen it before. And I'm like, how's your mind building that then? Because my mind doesn't do that. I apparently have something, I come into a category of people called, who have aphantasia. A-P-H-A-N-T, Aphantasia, right? And aphantasia is whereby we see nothing in our mind's eye. We just see a void. I have never been able to imagine anything. If I picture a banana, can't see it. If I picture a bicycle, can't see it. What my mind does, I don't see one specific bicycle. I will think, I conjure up in my consciousness every single imagery or particle of a bicycle that I've ever known. I draw from my archives, and I've got a million shards of all these particles of what a bicycle looks like to me. And as a kid, I used to trade in bicycles in the village, and so I would strip them all down, I would mend them, I would service them, I would just spray the frames and, you know, clean up all the chrome, and then I'd sell them again. So I have a very intricate knowledge of what a bicycle is and the whole multitude of varieties that they come in. So if you ask me to picture a bicycle, I will have an idea of a million bicycles. And even the ones I've encountered in my life, I can think of possible alternatives. You know, we've got the penny farthing. Well, I can think about 2 huge wheels with 1 wheel at the back like a tricycle. I can think of like 6 huge wheels on the front and then 3 trailer wheels at the back. I can think of a whole myriad of these things. It's endless. And I'm not restricted and I'm not bound by only seeing one. And this is the thing, you see. And so I don't consider it a deficit. I think it's a blessing. It's an absolute blessing, because what it enables me to do is to be much more articulate, much more descriptive. And that's why I lose the vast majority of my viewers, because they can't come with me on my journey, because your minds do not work like that. If you are speaking about bananas, you see a banana. And that is very, very restrictive, isn't it? I don't see a banana. I have a billion thoughts about bananas. And then I can say, well, what sort of banana would you like? Would you like a green one, a pink one, an orange one, a purple one with polka dots? What sort of banana? With big, small, you know, all these sort of things. I can go, look, you see, the thing is about, it's a concept. And I don't see a thing, because I know things don't actually exist. What does exist is the concept of a thing. And therefore, that's what my mind is reliant on. That's what my mind deals with. It deals with concepts. And so this is why I'm always picking from all over these places. You know, I'm grabbing all these different things and I'm bringing it all together and I'm presenting it to you. Because I don't see anything in particular. There's nothing here in particular, there's only ideas. So therefore, this whole dimension fits very, very beautifully into the philosophical concept of idealism. Now, I just watched a few videos about this because I was speaking with certain friends of mine and asking them, you know, do you see stuff? And they go, yeah. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I didn't know. I thought every time someone was saying that when you picture this in your mind's eye, it was just allegory. It was just like, do you picture an idea? And I go, yeah, I can picture an idea. I can't picture a thing. I don't see nothing in Technicolor or in black and white. It's blank. But here's the thing. I have hypnagogia and hypnopompia. Hypnagogia is these visions of extreme clarity before we fall asleep. Hypnopompia is when you're just coming out of your sleep and you've got your eyes closed and you see the similar imagery. I see landscapes, I see worlds, I see more real than is real now, because when I'm having this hypnopompia, hypnagogia, then the clarity is absolutely supernatural. And so when I speak about being on a certain astral projection, when I speak about angels coming to visit me, that's the level of supernatural clarity, absolutely heavenly-like and perfection. And it's very similar to what DMT gives you. When you take DMT and you look at a building, for instance, the building is absolutely immaculate. And it looks brand sparking new, even if it's I've made a video on one occasion of looking at a murky, horrible, swampy, boggy sort of region where under normal circumstances you'd go, ugh, that's vile. I took DMT sitting on a tree stump, and when I took that and I looked at the swamp, it was the most swirling, gorgeous, life-filled, sparkling, brand new thing you could ever imagine. And I swear that's what God is. It's the perception of seeing the world without the ego. Because the ego tells us, oh no, I don't like, oh. And we've got all these myriad of objections which we put in front of everything, which destroys the beauty of our existence. If we want to get into the kingdom of God, we have to leave the ego out of the equation. and we enter into the blissness and the void of our minds. And then when we look at the world, we are not projecting onto the world, that's just a blackbird, that's just a robin, that's just a tree, that's just a cloud. No, we're not. We're looking at everything as if it's for the first time. And we're going, what is that? What? Everything is genius, everything is immaculate, everything is perfect, everything is beautiful, everything is heaven-like. I've been to heaven, people. Myriad of times. That's why I love this world. I love the illusion. I love the fantasy. It's an incredible, amazing experience. And I know how to turn my world into something that could be considered to be dark and feels dark at the time. And then I can turn it out. I can invert it, and I can make the most swampiest, horrible of dimensions into the most beautiful of places, because I just invert my mind. I turn it around. I sack the ego from its silly protective projection that it always does. Oh, that might be dangerous. Oh, you wouldn't like that, and all this sort of thing. I go, no. I'm not a physical form. I am God consciousness, and everything is beautiful, because there's no reason why anything would not be beautiful. It's all my creation. It's all God's creation in my mind, and I don't have a fear about anything. Why would I? I'm God. You see, when you lose your fear, then the whole world takes on a different perspective. So this aphantasia, people just watch briefly about it, but they don't get it. And the people that are like, oh, speaking about aphantasia, like the psychologist or psychoanalyst, people this, people that, excuse me, you don't have it, so you don't get talking about it, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Please. And what you're doing is you're trying to make out that, oh, it's quite debilitating, really, because, well, you can't see this and you can't see it. No. You're the ones with the debilitation. People with aphantasia, they have so much more, because their consciousness is massively more expansive. And so this is why I can describe and I can elaborate and I can speak about nuances and I can meander and I can dance and I can surf within this dimension. Whereas other people, oh, I see a chair, oh, I see a banana. Excuse me, people. You see, look, the thing is, when you are 1%, and people could look at me now and thinking, oh, you've gone all egotistical on us, Aaron. I'm just stating the facts which are clear to me. The facts are, which is clear to me, that I see 99% more of this world than 99% of the people. I'm living in a different dimension to the vast majority of people around me. They don't see, they don't feel the beauty and the wonder and the astonishment and the amazement. I can speak to you about the astonishment and the amazement of the smallest of things, and I have done, haven't I, for thousands of videos. That's what aphantasia is done for me. Or that's what it's enabled me, allowed me, given me a propensity for, whatever. And so I'm very, very happy to be the 1%. Good God, why would I want to be in the herd? I've never been in the herd. And now it's starting to become quite clear why I haven't. Now, one day someone's going to go, oh, why people see so much more about the world? And I'll go, that's me. Yeah, that's me. You're talking about me. So when are people going to start talking about me? Instead of talking about, oh, when people get voices in their head, oh, when people feel sad, oh, when they feel depressed, oh, when they're afraid. Oh, let's start talking about something good, for goodness sake. But when people have things that are good, they call it a sickness, because, oh, they've got like Christos fantasy, or they've got God delusion, or, oh, it's always a delusion, isn't it? When the idiot scumbag of the herd doesn't possess something beautiful and brilliant and amazing, it's always something nasty, it's always something derogatory, and it's always an illness and a sickness which they want to lock you up for. Motherfuckers. Someone said to me, Oh, well, a few people, yeah, oh, I like this video because you're not ranting. And I'm like, look, when I'm ranting or whether I'm not fucking ranting, I'm speaking the absolute beauty, and if there's any truth in this dimension, I'm fucking speaking it. And so if you don't like listen to my truth and the way it's delivered because it marginalises you, because you feel intimidated, or if I start to bluster and I start to talk about weak people and smelly people and all this, and then you look in the mirror and you've got rotten teeth and you've got a nasty tongue and you know you don't wash your arse, and well, you might start to have resentment towards me. I'm just telling you how it fucking is. Smelly folk are smelly folk, clean folk are clean fucking folk. And if you fit into one category and the other, well, that's nothing to do with me. I'm just telling you that there's stinky folk and there's clean folk. And so if people don't like that, then they'll fucking deal with it, and I'm not interested. I didn't come here to be lovey-dovey to every stupid pink ape on the planet. That was never my job. I said in a comment yesterday that my job is I come here and I observe the pink ape. I'm not a pink ape. I look like I'm a pink ape, I'm not a pink ape. I'm something else from another dimension which is on a reconnaissance mission, and I'm looking at pink apes. This is why mostly I don't want fuck all to do with them. Because where I come from, we're a vastly more advanced race. But I've come down to planet Earth and I'm mixing with the minions and I'm experiencing what they do, and I'm seeing the dullness of them. I'm seeing the hate and all the nastiness of them. And it's kind of like, well, and then you could say, yeah, well, you're doing that. I'm just observing. I don't feel it. Like I said to you, I don't even want to ever mention hate. It's evidently something that's not in my vocabulary where I come from. But here, it's a word that you have. Why? Because it's a thing here. Where I come from, it isn't a thing. You see? So, aphantasia. Close your eyes and visualise something. And if you can actually see with clarity something, then you don't have aphantasia. If you just see black, then you're an aphantasist. An aphantasist. I think that's a beautiful thing. I'm an aphantasist. I don't have aphantasia like it's a disease. I have a skill, and it's aphantism. Aphantasia. 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 Aphantism. Aphantism. I am an aphantasist. Yes, and it's a beautiful thing. And I feel so much more superior now to all of the pink apes. Yes, I am indeed a very gifted person. Oops. You're not supposed to say things like that down on planet Earth, Aaron, because they're mostly filled with hate. And they don't like anybody that's different, and they most certainly don't like people when they say they're different and that they are above them in anything. If they've got more skills, if you're a beautiful singer or a beautiful musician or things like that, you can never say, I'm a beautiful singer. Oh, no, don't get saying that. The only people that can ever say that is them, if they ever afford you that privilege. It's a privilege that they give you. It's not something that you've earned. It's not something that you are. No, it's the privilege that they will offer you. And because they're fickle, disgusting creatures, they will offer it you 1 minute and then they'll strip you clean of it the next. That's what verminous scumbags they are. You see, the human being is capable of everything. A real human being is capable of absolutely everything. A human being who is not capable of everything has deficits in realms, let's say, like if they're not capable of fighting to the death to protect themselves or loved ones or anybody they care to protect, if they are not capable in their heart, and it doesn't pertain to prowess, strength or any of that thing, if they are not going to do 199% of an endeavour to protect somebody else, then they're cowards. Period. That's it. You're either brave or you're a coward. And anybody that goes into the coward category, go, it's a job for the oh, that's easy when you're a coward. Yeah, that's easy when you're a coward. What about you're living out in the woods, you're 50 miles from the nearest police station, somebody breaks in your house and starts to strangle your kids or rape your wife. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, because I'm not capable of killing. Really? Okay then. That means you're a coward and you're going to live for the rest of your life being a disgusting coward, because you're going to bolt for the door and you're going to leave your wife and your children to that monster. If you're a real man, then you'd do absolutely everything to deal with that entity in whatever capacity you've got, and you'll die trying. And so when people speak about that they're not capable of killing because they're loving and they're kind, they're full of shit. And I despise those motherfuckers, because I know the reality about this life. And this is why certain people have been greatly cherished in this world, like Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who spent 10 years in the gulags, in the Gulag archipelago in Siberia. And he witnessed every single person that was deemed to be good and honest and kind and loving, they would fail the test of righteousness, because evil ran through the heart of every single man. And he is a great renowned psychologist, and that's what he says, and I'm in his camp. Praise Alexander Solzhenitsyn for telling the fucking truth. All this wishy-washy bullshit is just cowardice. That's all it is. So you can see I'm a very empowered person. And I speak from a depth of deep knowing. I'm not speaking from a depth of book reading or listening to other people talking about knowledge. Everything I say, I'm speaking from an absolute deep knowing. And most times when I'm speaking, when I'm doing my discourses or rants or whatever you want to call them, then it's coming from 1,000, 1,000,000 incarnations. Because I've been to this place a lot of times, and that's why I know a lot of things. And even when I start speaking, I maybe not have experienced something, but I know how it is because I've experienced it 1,000 times before. You see? And so if I haven't experienced something, like I haven't climbed Mount Everest, well, I've climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, and that's only 8,000 feet less than Everest. 8,000 feet, people! I've done that. No oxygen and all that nonsense. And so I can well envision what an extra 8,000 feet is. And I'm pretty sure that in myriad of my past lives, I did actually experience climbing Kilimanjaro, Everest. And so it's speaking from a depth of an old soul, and that's what I'm doing here. And that's why I can have, when my humanisms become pronounced, I will exhibit frustration, I will exhibit some disdain for the fellow human beings who couldn't match me in 1,000,000 ways. But I do have the profoundest of respect and gratitude for people that do things that I can't. And there's a whole bunch of people. The human being is brilliant in lots of respects, but there's only very, very few of these brilliant human beings. There's 1% maybe, it's probably much less than that, of human beings that do brilliant things, and then you've got mediocrity underneath. You've got a handful of people standing on the top, and then a mediocrity of a pyramid below. And so, you know, if we want to exercise virtues of compassion and acceptance and non-judgment and all these things, we can. I'm capable of that. And I can fit into that. I can turn my multifaceted diamond You see, I've spoken about this in many videos. Let's just say that I possess a 1,000-faceted diamond, and I can turn that diamond to face the world with one of 1,000 facets, and each one of those facets is a different variety of energy. Now, most people, they've got maybe a dozen facets, and that's it. So they're exceedingly limited, and that's why they would say, oh, I could never do that, oh, I would never do that. You know, because they've got this silly, haughty ignorance, because 9 out of their 12 facets are ignorance, and what they're doing is they're thinking that they are a certain something, but they've never actually been tested to see what they're capable of. And so this is why they fail themselves. They fail everybody else, because they have no experience, because they are the herd, and herd creatures don't experience anything outside. You have to be a lone creature. You have to be, at the very least, a wolf who roams around in packs but are capable of solitude. Or if you look at a solitude, if you look at, like, I don't know, a lion or any other creature which creates its own pack. Because what happens is with lions, in case any of you didn't know, but when you have males born into a pride, then as soon as the males start to get to mating age, then the adult dominant males, father or whatever, will make sure those young males get outside of that pride and go and form their own. Because otherwise it's going to cause friction, because the young ones are going to be trying to copulate with the same females, they're going to try and usurp the old male and all this sort of stuff. So as long as the old male can, he won't stand for the competition. He'll say, time for you, sonny, to go and sling your hook and build your own family and try and do this incest business. And that's probably also another thing, is to prevent incest, because inbreeding isn't good. So we can see how nature works in a wonderful way, can't we? And so there's no mistakes in nature. When you look at the human being and when you look at how the world's going, I'm like all these fearmongers, oh, they're doing this, oh, they're doing that, oh, you gotta be careful. It's like a sheep bleating to another sheep. The farmer's going to come and tell us to go into that field. The farmer's going to come and dip us in some lotion. The farmer's going to send us into that house and you never come back from that house. Well, that's your bag. That's why you were born into this dimension. You're very low in the food chain and intelligence. Right, a wolf's going to be saying that. No, they're not. A hyenas? No. A leopards, cheetahs, bears? No, they're not. They're a completely different creature. And so, when we look at African tribes in the old days used to have something called a totem. Now, you'll all be familiar with a totem pole, but guarantee the vast majority of you will know what the totem pole is symbolic for. On the totem pole, you have all these variety of animals, which tribes are named after. So a tribe will be the crocodile tribe, and when you have males and females born into that tribe, you can't marry into the same tribe. You cannot marry into the same totem. You cannot marry a crocodile. So therefore you have to look at other tribes. Other tribes are called emu, they're called lion, they're called hyena, and you have to marry outside. That's why they all have a name of crocodile or a hyena or something. So it doesn't matter wherever they go, people are going to say, what tribe are you from? Just to make sure that you're from a different tribe before they try to copulate with each other. And so, again, you see how nature works? You see how the human beings, through nature, they understood very early on that you cannot copulate within the same bloodlines because it all goes pear-shaped. Nature is not standing for that. You're going to get grotesque, evil, demonic monstrosities. You have to spread your seed outside of the family bloodline. And so that's how that was. Anyway, I've talked a lot. So let me get back now to where we started on this. I was saying, what qualities do you think I have? Why do you listen to me? And you see, this is the thing now. I'll probably get someone saying, oh, the Awakened Brave's ego is back. Oh, the Awakened Brave's, he's going back to how he was. Oh, the Awakened Brave's all this. But you won't be able to answer. You won't be able to say from your heart what it is, because you don't want to give me nothing, because I know the vast majority of you cannot and do not want to give. And that's what I know about the Nasty Pink Ape. Because if the Nasty Pink Ape was ever going to be reformed, then they would be giving. And the comments section in my videos, they would be filled with all different sorts of stuff like, wow, that's a great way of thinking. You've really turned me on to something there, Aaron. I love it when you said this, or that worked for me. Oh, by the way, I've got a question about that. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? I don't quite get this. I get that. All this stuff, it'll be down in the comments. But as it is, there's nothing there, barely. There's barely anything there. Because you're filled with your animosity, your hate, your resentment, because you think that you know everything. I know everything. I'm only watching the Awakened Brave because, like, just to see if he knows what I know. Wrong attitude, wrong attitude. And truth be known, you're watching the Awakened Brave because he tells you things that you don't fucking know. And so why don't you admit it? Why don't you say it? Why don't you give a little bit of thanks or praise? And why don't you just say? And it's not like I'm looking for your praise and everything, because I already know I'm vastly over and above you in an intellectual way. And there's some of you that get a little bit close here and there, but that's how it is. Otherwise you won't be watching my video, right? So let's make that plain. And you look at me, and some people in the past have gone, oh, well, I just look at you for the entertainment value, to see your rant. No. You think that. You'd like to think that in your ego. The reason why you're looking and watching my videos is because something deep down in your unconscious is telling you that you need to listen to this guy. Because this guy's got something that's going to be of great value to you, whether you like it or not. And that's it. That's the attraction. So, say it. I just want to hear you say it. I want to see if you're capable of saying it. Say what the fuck you want. And, you know, you can spit some venom and hate and all that. Say it. Just get it off your chest. But then when you've said it and you've sent it, see what it feels like. And ask yourself, is that true? Do I really think that? Do I watch Aaron's videos because of this or because of that? Or is there another reason that I don't want to admit to? Why did I say that? Why did I feel that? What am I protecting? What am I hiding? Look at yourselves, people. That's what my videos have always been about. My videos are not about me. I already know I'm genius. I already know that I don't belong here, and I'm just on a reconnaissance mission, trying to raise up this pink ape thing. And probably I don't really want to be here. That's why lots of times you get this sort of display of resentment. Why the fuck do I want to be here with a bunch of lowlives? Imbeciles. Give me the cream of the cream. Let me mix with the cream de la cream. Like the 0.1% or something of humanity. And then I'll write back to my boss and I'll go, it's alright down here. You know, these creatures are pretty fucking cool, really. They do all these fucking crazy, wonderful things and everything. But no, I mean, to see all these people doing crazy, wonderful things, you got to travel across a country or a continent, and you got to buy tickets, and you got to book, and you got to stand amongst, you know, 5,000 sweaty, stinky little pink apes, degenerates. You got to stand amongst those to see one of them that's genius on the fucking stage. And I'm like, psst, what the fuck is this place? Say it.